What makes a real friend? So you said you had 22?
22, yeah.
22 friends.
22.
What defines a good friend for you?
Oh my God. For me, I've never killed anyone in my life and I have no intention of killing anyone. But like, it's the person who you can call when you're like, that would help you carry the dead body across the floor. You know what I mean? You're like, the person you call, you're like, shit, I think I've done this thing. And I need you to like either tell me I'm crazy or tell me I'm not crazy or tell me the truth or help me fix it. Or I don't know. That I think it's like the people that, God, it's the people that you just like do not have to have airs and graces with and who you can just be like, this just happened and it was such a disaster. And yeah, and I don't know, people, I think also who can handle your truths, your real truths and vulnerabilities like they're sacred and with care. I think that's been very important for me because I think maybe part of my bravado is I'll make a joke of or I'll be brave about things I don't feel very brave about. And it takes someone who knows me quite well to go, she's making a joke about this.
Yeah,
she's like actually dying inside. And I kind of know that. And like, I'm going to hold her through it. Yeah, I think real friends are the ones when you're in a really tight corner. And not just that will like show up begrudgingly, but be like, what are we dealing with today? And like, maybe we'll enjoy that or see that as like an honor and a privilege, actually. I think that's been a big learning for me. And it's an honor and a gift when someone asks you for help or when they need you. And I think I used to feel really embarrassed about needing anything from anyone or asking for help. I used to see it as like a great shame, like something I was really embarrassed to do. And now I see it as like, I guess like knowing how I feel when someone asks me for help that I really love and how amazing it feels to be able to be there for someone else. I try to remind myself that when I'm feeling like I couldn't possibly burden someone else with something, I remind myself, Emma, do you remember how good it felt that someone like asked you to show up for them and that you got to be there for them at their worst or darkest? And so I think coming to understand, like, I think I also confused codependency or like, I don't know. I didn't, we are so interdependent as a species and like we there's no shame in needing and wanting other people. I didn't understand. I didn't understand. And I do now.
I love that answer. I love how it started as, if I ever kill someone.
Which I wouldn't, I swear. And I haven't. And I won't.
So good. It's so good. It's so funny. It's like I did not expect you to say that. It was so good.
That's good.
So surprising. I love it. But no, it's so true. Like when I left the monastery, and even though I was with my wife and we got into a relationship and we were dating, I used to always feel like I had this false mindset because of my immaturity and understand what being a monk was.
Yeah.
In that it was in this independent way.
Right.
Of not needing or wanting anyone, and that we were in a relationship, but it was great, but like that wasn't, and I held that immature, and I probably verbalized it to her too many times for too long. In the beginning of our relationship. I have no idea why she stayed. but it took recently, this was so recent, this was like maybe a couple of months ago. Well, I realized that I shouldn't have said that years ago, but then a couple of months ago, my wife said to me, she goes, you're my calm, like you calm my nervous system. And I was like, you're my joy. Like you bring joy to every part of my life. And it was like that exchange was so needed and so powerful after having for so long feeling like, oh, I have everything I need anyway. And I do. I genuinely believe that. But it's what you said, is that we're interdependent for a reason.
Yes, we co-regulate.
Like, my wife had so much. It's like saying I don't need salt added on to this meal, and like the meal's great, and it's like I don't need any more salt, and it's like, well, no, if you add a little bit of salt, it'll make it a bit better.
Way better.
It'll be way better. And it's like, and we kind of live in that life of like, oh, I don't want to add anything to this, and it's almost a defense mechanism because we're so scared that there may not be someone to add.
Oh my God, I think
and I've lived there, so that resonated very strongly.
I think that was one of the other gifts, actually, of getting to a point where because I used to be this like, I'm so tough and independent and I can do anything person. And being at the point where I was like, shit, I actually think I'm like not okay. And my body forcing me to ask other people for help was the biggest gift of my life, because it brought me so much closer to other people. And I learned that not only is it not a burden, it's genuinely, a privilege and a gift sometimes to have someone ask you that question, or like be honest about the ways that they need you. And it's crazy how long it takes to learn these things.
Yeah, absolutely. You've done so much inner work and self-work, and I'm wondering what's the work you've been avoiding? What's the work you've been putting off?
Wow. I think it's probably something around now tying it all together. I think in some ways me being here today is me trying to do the piece I've been avoiding, maybe, which is like, okay, you know you want to show up as a full integrated whole self and not compartmentalize and split and fragment yourself in a way that keeps you safe. And that compartmentalization did keep me safe and felt very necessary for a long time, because I was trying to keep some walls up where I could nurture myself and learn and grow and then be ready to share those pieces. But I think it's probably figuring out how to avoid the pieces that I know aren't good for me and that are genuinely just toxic, but to have the courage to show up now in whatever form that is, and trust again, whether that's a person or it's making something, or it's kind of, okay, have you learned enough that you can integrate and share now that you've done this inner work on your own?
Yeah, and that resonates.
Okay, good.
Yeah. It's hard to verbalize. It's almost like it is that you've been private for so long.
Yeah.
And you've been working in private on your fascinations, your curiosities, your friends, your inner work, and then to actually come out and talk about what that period has been like publicly is something you can keep pushing off and
maybe how that ties into partnership is that I've realized actually that some of the people I've been attracting on the dating front think they're dating some previous version of me who still exists in some ways, but who isn't actually who I am now. And I realized, I was like, oh, like I'm still getting sent people who like are seeing someone who was part of the picture, but not the whole picture. And it's starting to feel uncomfortable to not feel like I'm telling this part of the story, if that makes sense.
It's even hard for you to be like, well, these are the parts that are still there, and these are like it's
I know.
It's not a didactic process of like it's not an equation where you can go, well, these are the parts that I've kept. Yeah. These are the parts that are not. Like it doesn't work like that.
No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. But I'm still getting requests that want to drag me a little bit more into a version of myself who was great and she was doing great stuff. But I think there's a part of me now that really feels like being able to speak to you one-on-one in this kind of setting, as opposed to what I used to do, which would be an enormous audience. And there'd be like 300 people there. And like, of course there's intimacy you can find in a room like that. But like, the truth is, it's really difficult to find the kind of depth and the kind of connections that I know are the ones that nourish me personally. And it's different for everyone, but that just aren't allowing me to have the thing that I know is the real thing that I'm actually seeking. And what I used to go into lots of other environments seeking and thinking I'd be able to get and keep, and just not being able to find.